have a fun fact about crabs for you. There is a hospital/museum in Sweden that is keeping live crabs, pubic lice, on display because they don't want them to be extinct.
What?
This is true. Fact check me if you don't believe.
We're going to be taking D&D sickness to a whole new level.
We've got several different types of diseases that you can apply to your campaigns. Let's get into the first. All right. I want to draw attention to one specific popular necromancy spell based on disease.
Contagion applies to so fucking many different effects. Blinding, sickness, fever, flesh rot, mind fire, seizure, not really disease, slimy doom, all of these varying side effects. I implore you to look more in depth for yourself. If any of them may make you squeamish, you might not want to use them. Class-based diseases. Fighters may inflict or catch disease from their own weapons. Spellcasters may get sick when handling ingredients during rituals or get unlucky spellcasting.
Druids can get rabies.
Artificers will literally eat grease accidentally.
Oh. Well, in a real lab, first 2 rules. Always wear your goggles. Always wear your lab coat. Cover your skin.
That's 3.
It encapsulates them. Don't eat your samples. Refrigerate and heat as needed to keep them at a safe temperature. You don't smell stuff. You just gently waft. Do not put your nose directly over, otherwise you will hurt your nasal cavities.
Yeah, I've done that cooking ramen. I'm a doctor. Kinda. There are a lot of different ways to catch a disease or illness. Environmental-based diseases, aka weather, freezing, overheating, could be a good harbinger for diseases coming upon your party.
If your party is in a wintry biome or setting up camp for a long rest without a fire, you could introduce them to disease. One disease particularly called snowblight. Snowblight is like real-life counterpart to frostbite or hyperthermia. Hypothermia. Right? It takes action after 1 hour of being in the cold without winter gear. Has a DC save of 12. However, if you are not so lucky, you will gain a +1 level of exhaustion.
When you take a long rest or take cold damage greater than 8 plus your constitution and proficiency bonus, you must save against this disease. To get rid of this, you need to take a long rest in warm climate.
It can add another level of danger to your party or make it feel more real, more applicable to actual life situations depending on what you've really experienced. Especially if your session isn't super combat heavy, it could still make things dicey. This goes for any disease, but feel free as the DM to change up the rules for what the disease does, make it better suited for your campaign.
And another little note, food forage should be washed or properly cooked. This includes nuts, meat, plants, food spoils, and allergies can also occur.
Let's bring up some different types of diseases. For example, the race I play in Poseidon's Ribcage is a halfling. What are some other race-based diseases, and do I need to be worried about them?
Yeah, what sweeps through a halfling town may not be affecting the surrounding villages inhabited by constructs. The undead may be completely oblivious to the humans dropping like flies all around them.
Ew.
This is due to many things: elemental resistances, diet, and overall lifestyle.
Do plagues and outbreaks also exude from you? Because that's what we're going to be talking about next.
Sometimes.
So let's bring back the good old Black Plague. Symptoms of the Black Death included swellings, mostly in the groin, armpits, and neck. This is due to your lymph node system. Dark patches and the coughing up blood. Historians are actually scared to operate on the seemingly diseased bones from the time for fear of releasing another wave of the plague. There were 25 million dead during the initial wave. Imagine all of Markiplier's subscribers dying like...
Civil unrest can also be a factor in disease. Societal unrest puts an uneasy feeling in people's everyday life, adding paranoia and stress to any scenario.
There can be a hard divide in society from any number of larger societal issues. For example, some overtaxation, droughts, natural disasters, he said, she said bullshit. When unaddressed, outcomes such as coup d'etat, rioting, looting, and other badass shit may occur.
Now, if you're trying to DM with diseases, there are a few important aspects that you need to consider. The source of how the disease is contracted, the DC, which is how difficult it is to recover or get the disease, incubation time, how long it takes till the debuff takes place, what the debuff actually does to your characters, and the end condition of how to cure your disease. If this all sounds complicated and confusing, just pull from real life experience. Look up some real life diseases to use as a template.
To summarize the whole theme of this video, diseases are very real and a present threat to all medieval fantasy settings. Nobility, leaders, peasants, entire workforces can fall dead in the span of weeks.
There's a time aspect to dealing with some of these diseases. A race against the clock builds tension that can sometimes be ignored if they do choose to ignore it.
Finding a cure for the disease could be the main premise of your story. There is no BBEG. It is just the disease as your antagonist. You and your party are trying to treat sick people and trying to find a cure.
So DMs, please effectively use skill checks when they are doing sus shit. And everybody, wash your vegetables before you eat them. Thanks for watching, subscribe and like.
Did you know